Umuoka was the kind of village where no face was a stranger. Children could run from one compound to another without fear, and elders sat under mango trees, sharing stories and bitter cola. The people lived simply, but their lives were woven tightly with tradition and deep-rooted beliefs. They feared the gods, respected the dead, and never joked with spirits. Everyone knew that some things, like crossing certain paths at night or whistling after dark, were simply not done. Taboos were not questioned, they were followed. Pregnancy was a blessing in Umuoka. When a woman took in, her joy became the village's joy. There would be singing, dancing, and prayers to the ancestors for safe delivery. Midwives were honored almost like priests, keepers of life. But something had changed. Lately, joy had turned to fear. It started quietly, whispers that a pregnant woman didn't wake up. Then another. No sickness, no sign. Just gone. Now, women slept with one eye open, and some even tied red cloths around their beds. People spoke in low tones about what could be happening. Some said it was a curse. Others feared it was something worse, and though no one dared say it out loud, one question was on every tongue. Who, or what, is killing pregnant women in Umuoka? It started like a joke. Just one woman, found cold and lifeless on her mat. People said maybe it was malaria, maybe she overworked herself. But when the second one died the same way, eyes closed like she was only sleeping, fear began to crawl through Umuoka like smoke from an unseen fire. By the third case, no one was laughing anymore. They all had one thing in common. They were pregnant, almost due. No wounds, no cries for help in the night, no signs of struggle. Just silence, and then death. Some said their faces looked peaceful, too peaceful, as if something had taken them gently, but others whispered that their bellies looked slightly flatter, like something had been taken away. The elders gathered under the old Iroko tree and shook their heads. "This is not ordinary," one of them said. "This is spiritual." Another added, "Maybe the gods are angry. Maybe someone broke a serious taboo." And just like that, sleep became a dangerous thing. Pregnant women began to sleep sitting up. Some refused to close their eyes at all. Husbands lit fires around their homes. But even fire could not chase away what nobody could see or understand. Mama Efun came to Umuoka like a soft wind, quiet, unnoticed, but slowly felt. No one knew exactly where she came from. She just arrived one day, carrying a leather bag and a walking stick carved with strange markings. The village welcomed her, of course. A midwife was always needed, and when she helped deliver her first baby safely, people began to call her the gifted one. Women praised her soft hands, her calm voice, the way she seemed to know exactly what to do, even in difficult births. She was different, though. She didn't talk much. She never joined the women in evening gossip or went to the stream with others. She lived alone in a small hut near the edge of the forest, too far from the heart of the village, some would say. But because she saved lives, no one questioned it, until now. It didn't take long for people to start noticing something odd. All the pregnant women who died had one thing in common. They were under Mama Efun's care. Some had even seen her visiting their homes days before their deaths. Coincidence? Maybe. But in a village like Umuoka, where spirits walk with men, no one believes in coincidence for long. Baba Lei was not a man who spoke carelessly. He had served Umuoka for decades, mixing roots and leaves that healed even the stubbornest fevers. But one night, he woke up drenched in sweat, clutching his chest. In his dream, a large black snake had slithered through the village, silent and smooth, entering the huts of pregnant women, one after the other. It did not hiss. It did not strike. It simply disappeared into the dark, and the women never woke up. The next morning, he walked straight to the village council, his staff tapping the ground with urgency. This is not malaria. It is not a curse from the gods. I saw it. A black snake, and it's not just any snake. It is one of us. The council laughed. Snake dreams? Baba, you're old. Rest. Some even chuckled, brushing his words off like dust from their wrappers. But one or two elders exchanged wary glances. That same evening, Baba Lei called Obinna, a brave young hunter with sharp eyes and quiet steps. He whispered, "Follow Mama Efun. Watch her at night. Don't let her see you." What I saw in that dream, it's not just a warning. Something evil is walking among us. That night, Obinna did not go home. He hid behind a thick mango tree near Mama Efun's hut, his heart thumping like a talking drum. The moon was high, casting pale light over the silent compound. Even the crickets seemed to hold their breath. Obinna gripped his cutlass tightly, more for comfort than courage. Minutes crawled like hours, until suddenly the door creaked open. Mama Efun stepped out slowly, barefoot, her white wrapper fluttering slightly in the wind. She didn't look around. She just walked straight into the bush behind her hut, muttering strange words under her breath, words Obinna had never heard before, not even from the elders. He followed quietly, each step calculated, careful not to snap a twig. Then she stopped. Her back arched, her arms trembling. Obinna blinked, thinking it was a trick of the moonlight. But no, her skin began to darken, her fingers stretching into claws, her face sinking in. Her body twisted and shrank, then stretched again, until all that remained was a massive black snake, thick as a palm trunk, with glowing yellow eyes that scanned the bush. Obinna froze. The snake hissed once, then slithered deeper into the forest. Obinna turned and ran. He didn't stop till he reached home, and he didn't sleep a wink. Ngozi was stubborn, the kind of woman who believed more in courage than caution. Her husband, Kalichi, had begged her, "Let me take you to your aunt in the city. Women are dying here, Ngozi, please." But she only laughed, rubbing her big, round belly gently. "I am not afraid. The gods who gave me this child will protect me," she said, her voice full of pride. That afternoon, Mama Efun came by, as usual. She brought herbs and warm words, smiling with her usual quiet calm. "You're glowing," she said softly, placing her cool hand on Ngozi's stomach. The touch made Ngozi shiver, though the day was hot. "The baby is almost here," Mama Efun whispered, her eyes lingering a moment too long before she turned and walked away. As the sun set and darkness crept in, Ngozi began to feel uneasy. The compound felt quieter than usual. Even the goats had gone still. She lay on her mat, trying to rest, but something scratched at her thoughts. Then she heard it. A low, slithering hiss just outside her window. Her eyes flew open. The night stood still, and from the other side of the wall, something moved, slow, heavy, and alive. At dawn, with eyes red from sleepless fear, Obinna rushed to Baba Lei's shrine, panting as he spoke. "It's true, Baba," she changed. "With my own eyes, I saw it. Mama Efun is the snake." Baba Lei didn't blink. Instead, he walked to the back of his hut and brought out an old wooden box wrapped in red cloth. Inside were bitter cola, a black stone smooth as glass, and 7 worn cowrie shells. "This is not an ordinary creature," Baba said, But this charm will force her to reveal her true form. They ground the bitter cola, pressed it onto the stone, and wrapped everything in a white cloth tied with palm thread. "Keep it close," Baba warned. "When you see her, don't hesitate." That night, as the village slept, Obinna crept into Ngozi's hut. She was terrified but silent, clutching her belly while Obinna hid behind the curtain near her mat, gripping the charm tightly. The oil lamp flickered low. Outside, the wind had stilled. No owl hooted, no dog barked. It was the kind of silence that made the skin crawl. Obinna kept his breath shallow, ears alert. He knew something was coming. And this time, he would be ready. The clock of midnight struck in silence. The oil lamp had long gone out, and the only light in Ngozi's hut came from the pale moon sneaking through the cracks in the wall. Obinna waited, heart pounding, muscles stiff from hiding too long. Then he heard it, the faint sound of something sliding across the earth. Not footsteps, a slither. The curtain by the window lifted gently, though there was no wind. A long, black shape glided in, smooth and slow. The snake's scales shimmered faintly under the moonlight, and its yellow eyes burned like twin lanterns. It moved with eerie silence, coiling toward Ngozi, who pretended to sleep but trembled under her wrapper. Obinna held his breath as the snake raised its head, mouth parting slowly, fangs glinting. It hovered just inches above her stomach. Now, with a loud cry, Obinna sprang from the shadows and hurled the charm at the creature's face. The moment it hit, a blinding spark exploded, and the snake let out a blood-curdling scream. Not a hiss, not an animal sound, but a scream like a woman burning alive. It writhed violently, crashed against the mud wall, shattering it, and fled into the darkness, leaving behind silence and fear. By morning, word had already spread like wildfire. Obinna had seen the snake with his own eyes, and it had attacked Ngozi. The villagers gathered in the square, their faces tense, some clutching rosaries, others with red cloths tied around their waists for protection. Obinna stood before them, dust still on his clothes, eyes burning with truth. "She came as a snake," he said. "I saw her change. She almost killed Ngozi. If not for Babalai's charm, we would be burying her today." He raised his right hand and swore by the gods of the land. "Strike me down if I lie," he said. Gasps followed, and murmurs rose like buzzing bees. Then Mama Efun appeared, walking calmly through the crowd, her white wrapper spotless, her steps slow and confident. She looked at them all, smiling like a mother greeting her children. "Obinna," she said gently, "I am just a woman who helps women. I have delivered babies, not death. Do I look like a snake to you?" The crowd went silent. Some looked at her with confusion, others with fear. "She's lying," someone whispered. "But she saved lives," another shouted. And just like that, the village stood divided, caught between truth, fear, and charm. That evening, the elders sat under the moonlight, faces heavy with worry. After hours of heated argument, they reached a decision. The village would send for a powerful priest from Amory, a neighboring town known for its warriors of spirit. He would come and cleanse the land, uncover the truth, and bring peace. Until then, Mama Efun was ordered to remain in the village. She agreed without protest, smiling calmly, her eyes unreadable. "I have nothing to fear," she said, and walked away. Night came, and with it, unease. Doors were bolted. Lamps burned low. Mothers kept their children close, and pregnant women clutched charms beneath their pillows. Even the dogs didn't bark, like they too were holding their breath. Around midnight, little Chinonso, barely 8, woke up needing to pee. His mother was fast asleep, so he tiptoed outside into the cool, quiet air, barefoot on the cold earth. As he reached the back of the house, he froze. A giant black snake was gliding silently across the compound, heading straight into the hut of Madame Ifeoma, who was 8 months pregnant. Chinonso's eyes widened. His lips trembled. Then he screamed, a sharp, piercing sound that shattered the silence. And everything went dark. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss what happens next.